Good morning. We are on our live platforms for the week. It's good to be here. It's good to give you guys value and show you guys what we're doing every week. Give you guys a lesson for the week, and we'll do 4 lessons a week. We have 4 weeks in a month. We're getting close as well to our seminar. We'll be having our Spanish seminar on the 31st, May the 31st, 6 p.m. And then June 1st, we'll be having the same seminar, but in English. And for you guys in the local area, Lubbock area, you guys take a look at our page, get signed up, register, and you guys can be here in live as well as Zoom. So whoever's not in the area, we have people jumping into our seminars globally as well. So everyone has the opportunity to take a look at what we're doing, get involved, and really learn to develop themselves. And that's the key to success, is personal development. After school, after college, it's up to you. And the truth is, if you're not developing yourself beyond high school, you may stretch a little more, chances are, a little after that, you're done. After college, chances are you may stretch a little bit, but chances are after that, you're done. And what does done mean? Done means you're no longer developing yourself to go beyond what you know how to do. And this is the case in every life and every person. When you're not working on you, nobody else can and nobody else will. So therefore, you can never take yourself beyond what you know how to do. You can never take yourself beyond where you're at. Not because the possibilities and the opportunities are not there, because you haven't chosen to keep growing. And that's the key to life. And that's what success is, the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And when you are successfully moving towards an ideal, successfully moving towards a goal and a vision, you're growing. How many of you stopped growing? How many of you stopped growing? How many of you stopped betting on you? Well, that's the reason you're where you're at. You're not earning $50,000 a year because you cannot earn more. You're earning $50,000 a year because you don't know how to earn $50,000 a month. All there is a different level of awareness. And it takes a different level of awareness to do what I just said. People are not stuck on accident, they're stuck on plan. People don't have problems, they have programs. You see, everything in nature is habitual. All humans act habitual by nature. We'll take on certain beliefs and then we act them out, and normally without even asking. We take on ideas from the environment that we came into, and normally we're just human doings. We follow the masses. We do as they do. Well, if you do as they do and you follow the masses, which is normal, we all follow the masses. As you're born into an environment, you're born into a country, you're born into a timeline, and you do as they do. You begin to eat, walk, talk, and act like they do because you took on their information. What else could you do? The key was to keep growing and keep stretching and keep learning. And if you're not, you'll be stuck. You'll learn their patterns. You learn how to behave like them, how to walk like them, how to talk like them. And almost all behavior is habitual. That's what a paradigm is. It's a multitude of habits. Multitude of habits that are worked about by your mindset. It's a multitude of habits that have almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And almost all behavior is habitual. And before long, you're just traveling through time experiencing your mindset. As you're developing yourself, or you choose to develop yourself, you're going to need to learn about the mind and how it works. Because a perfectly operating mind is designed to stay stuck, is designed to stay safe, is designed to conform. That is a perfect, normal, operating human brain. The brain is designed to keep you safe. So it's not normal to stretch. It's not normal to keep personally developing yourself. It's not normal to set goals and achieve them. That, everything that I'm saying that we teach is not normal and it's not common. That's why so very few people are truly, truly successful. And when I mean successful, I mean going beyond what the average individual does in their lifetime. The work that we're doing, the information we're teaching is not meant for everyone. This information is meant for the people that desire success, that desire to break free, that desire to win and win big. What we teach is not normal. I never wanted to be normal. I did not want to live as normal people live. I wanted to be free. I wanted freedom. I wanted to build my own economy. I wanted to help build the economy for others. I no longer wanted I wouldn't even say an 8 to 5 job. I was doing a 6 to 6 job, 6 to 8 job. I wanted a better lifestyle. And in order to do that, I was going to have to get out of my own way. That's exactly what I had to do. And that's exactly what you're going to have to do. In order for you to win and build and grow, you've got to get out of your own way. You've got to get out of your head. It is perfectly normal that the minute that you decide to grow, to stretch, to become free, you're going to be inundated. You're going to get hit with every condition and every thought of why it can't be done. This is perfectly normal. So that's exactly how the human brain operates. The minute it's outside of your comfort zone, the minute it's to go beyond what you know how to do, your conditioned mind is trained to keep you safe. It's trained to stop you. Why? Because it's foreign. And anytime there's something foreign, it's designed to talk you out of doing what you truly want to do. This is why we have this Institute of the Mind, because we know how the mind works. And we know that in order to go beyond your mindset, you need a mentor. You need people that know psychology, behavior. You need people that know how to create success, how to live happy, healthy, wealthy lives. You need a company that studied this for years and that's developed people for years, and it has the proof of the results. And yes, we have that. And yes, we have some stories of people that gave up, didn't go all the way. That's absolutely normal, because 95% of humans go back to the comfort. They don't stay the course. They give up, and they don't keep stretching. They don't keep learning, because 95% of humanity is programmed, 98% is programmed to stay safe, to stay comfortable, to stop growing, to stop stretching, to stop learning, and not to study every day. This is not for everyone. It's only for the people that truly are inspired to win, to grow, to live the way they live by design. This is not normal. And again, that's why so very few people do it. The question is, how do you want to live? What do you want in your life? The question is, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you tired of the same job, the same people, the same things, living in the same way? Are you done being you? That's the only question you really need to ask. Am I willing and am I able? Of course you are. Everyone is. It does not matter how much education you have. It does not matter what skin color you are. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what gender you are. None of those things matter. Are you done being you? You see, there's a self-image inside of you that lives the way it wants to live. And the truth is that you're so much more than that. And earlier I said it, you're going to have to get out of your own way because your way's not working. Your way is the old belief system, the old self-image, all the old ideas, all the conditioned mentality from the past. That self-image has to be rewritten. There's a lot of psychology behind what we're teaching because you've got to understand the psyche, which is mind. Developing yourself is the only way you can go beyond what you are. You see, you can never outperform the self-image, but you can rewrite it. We cannot consistently do what is inconsistent with our self-image. You cannot consistently do what is inconsistent with your self-image. You got to grow up. You got to face you. Your self-image has been controlling you from day one. And the truth of that is you didn't even create it. But it's been programmed. It's behaved in this way. It's been conditioned in this way. And it's ready to talk you out of every move that's going to take it outside of what it is. Why is this so important? Because it's your whole life. And you don't have a choice. It's either live with you, live with your old self-image, live with what you are. And that's okay. There's a lot of people like you. I was like that too. That wasn't good enough for me. And if you were like me, living like that is not good enough for me, you got to bet on yourself. And you're going to have to study. You're going to have to learn. And you're going to have to stretch, and you're going to have to grow. And we're here to take you step by step every day. We teach these classes Monday through Friday because it's through the repetition that you grow. We have classes on Saturday for our more elite programs. We have a couple of classes during the week. Fit your schedules. We have Creator's Lifestyle on Tuesday. Dallas teaching that. We have our Inner Circle on Wednesdays. We have our Business Matrix and Mastery Lifestyle on Saturdays. We do this in English, we do this in Spanish, and we do this in Farsi. All the opportunities, everything you could ever want. It's here and now. Are you here and now? Are you ready? Are you ready, willing, and able? I say yes. I'm going to play a video. This is one of my mentors. Bob Proctor passed away a couple of years ago. I want to go study with Bob because I like the way he taught. I liked his style. He was successful. He knew what he was teaching. He helped a lot of people. We've helped a lot of people. I'm going to play this video and we're going to go over the self-image. And what does it take to change you? gonna get started.
Says is 5% strategy, 95% mindset. Now think about that for a moment. When I first heard it, I thought, wait a minute. But you know something? The more I thought about it, the more I realized she's right. Success is 5% strategy, 95% mindset. You see, there's all kinds of brilliant people. They've got great strategies, but it doesn't happen. I mean, what the hell's the matter? They're missing this. Now look it. I had 2 months high school. I had absolutely no business experience at all. I had a bad work record. I was just a worker. I'd been out of the Navy, only an ordinary seaman. I come out an able seaman. In the Canadian Navy, if you're in for 18 months, you have to make you an able seaman. So that was not one of my greater promotions, you see. I worked in bars and in factories. A couple of the bars I worked in, I only lasted for an hour and I got fired. In fact, I was driving Linda by a place one time here in Toronto, and I said, see that bar there? I lasted 1 hour in there. And there's another one not too far from there. I lasted an hour there too. Now, how come, here's a guy, no formal education, absolutely no business experience, always just worker. I was a hard worker, but always dumb work. And then all of a sudden, bam, I went from earning $4,000 a year to $14,500 a month. In less than 5 years, I was over $1 million. I owned a company that operated in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, London, England. This is what was running through my mind after Catherine said that. All I had was a mindset. I remember I had an image. We went into Atlanta, 5 o'clock at night. I might have told you this. I phoned a real estate agent. I said, if you spend the day with me tomorrow, I'll rent an office, 4,000 or 5,000 square feet from you. Good lease. He wanted to know why I wanted them next day. And I said, well, I'm going to get you to drive me around. I don't know my way around the city. Do you know we had everything done? We had the bank open, we had ads in the paper, we had the office rented, we had the furniture, we had the phone, we were registered in the Betters Business Bureau. We had the whole thing done, everything done. By 5 o'clock the next night, we flew back out of Atlanta to Toronto. 2 weeks later, we flew in. We had help in the place. We had hired people. We were operational. Why? I had an image. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in town. I found out you don't have to be. Andrew Carnegie gave Napoleon Hill some good advice. He said, the accumulation of great wealth calls for power. And he said, power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But he says, the person who gets the fortune doesn't have to have the knowledge. I never forgot that. Here I was, very little information. In 1961, I'm earning $175,000 a year. Now I based that on $14,500 a month, if you analyze that. I hadn't earned $175,000, but I got myself up to that figure. This is very real for me. And you know something? You know a lot of people. We probably have people in here, and that's why they're here. You're going to have to do exactly what I tell you here, and I'm going to tell you, I figured out this is one of the toughest things to do. But you can do it, and you can make it easy. Now we have our studio director. Could we have a drum roll, please, Mikey, or Tommy? Drum roll. Drum roll.
Oh, come on, Tommy.
Drum roll. Drum roll. I thought you said this guy was right on. What happened? Do you have those pink slips still, Mikey? Oh!
There we go.
Mr. Scott Edwards, all the way from high atop the Hotel Peabody in downtown Manchester, England. Take it away.
Oh, God. Right. All right, thanks, Bob, and thanks, Tommy. So I wanted to cover kind of the mechanics in this book, Psycho-Cybernetics. I don't know whether you've got this. This is something that's really good to get. This kind of explains the mechanics of everything, and people, there's people who say, I really understand it, I don't need to know any more about it. But Bob, in this clip, asks you whether you do understand it, and how do we know whether we do understand it or not? So this is a clip of Bob explaining exactly that.
Now, let's take a look at this idea of cybernetics. You know, a number of years ago, many years ago, I bought this book. It was out around 1960, and it was shortly after that I got it. And like most of these books I get, I read it over and over and over again. Now, let me digress for a second. I was in a seminar that Dr. Harry Roeder was conducting. And I'm going to tell you, this man is brilliant. He has an enormous amount of information of why we do what we do. And I remember we were working with a loose leaf exercise book. It was in Chicago that I was in the seminar, although Dr. Roeder is a Canadian. And he said something that really sunk in, and on the first page in the book, I wrote it. He said, you do not understand something until you can explain it to someone else so that they understand it. Now run that through your computer a couple of times. You do not understand something until you can explain it to someone else so that they understand it. Now that was written in a book a long time ago. I wrote it, as Harry said it. I'd read this book before that, and I read it off and on every year or two. I'll read it a couple of times. Someone came up to me in a seminar one day years ago, and they said, Bob, do you know what cybernetics means? And I said, yeah. They said, well, what does it mean? I said, well, it's, and all I could see was the front page of that book where Dr. Roeder said, you do not understand something until you can explain it to someone else so that they understand. And I didn't know how to explain it.
Okay, so that was Bob just kind of explaining when he realized you could understand something on a conscious level or just know about, have a definition of it, but not actually understand it. So this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, psycho means mind, and cybernetics is a control mechanism. So Bob explains the true definition of psycho-cybernetics and how it kind of relates to exactly what we're talking about here with the image maker.
Now, let's take a look at this idea of cybernetics. Cybernetics is a science of control and communication in the animal and in some machines. It is based on the fact that both biological organisms and some machines have sensors that measure deviation from a set goal. These sensors signal feedback into a coordinating mechanism, your nervous system, which corrects the output or the behavior of those same organisms or machines. Now, if you're reading a page and you go spinning past that paragraph, I think you'll have to admit it'd be pretty easy not to understand what you've just read. Now, you just read, in fact, I read it to you and you probably followed me. You might ask yourself, could you really explain that to someone? Well, I obviously couldn't. That's why it's so essential that we listen to this. It'd be pretty easy not to understand. Feedback into a coordinating communication in the animal and in some machines. It is based on the fact that both biological organisms and some machines have sensors that measure deviation from a set goal. These sensors signal feedback into a coordinating mechanism, your nervous system, which corrects the output or the behavior of those same organisms or machines. Now, if you're reading a page and you go spinning past that paragraph, I think you'll have to admit it'd be pretty easy not to understand what you've just read.
I want you to listen to this again.
In fact, I read it to you. It is based on...
Relates to exactly what we're talking about here with the image maker.
Now, let's take a look at this idea of cybernetics. Cybernetics is the science of control and communication in the animal and in some machines. It is based on the fact that both biological organisms and some machines have sensors that measure deviation from a set goal. These sensors signal feedback into a coordinating mechanism, your nervous system, which corrects the output or the behavior of those same organisms or machines. Now, if you're reading a page and you go spinning past that paragraph, I think you'll have to admit it'd be pretty easy not to understand what you've just read. Now, you just read, in fact, I read it to you and you probably followed me. You might ask yourself, could you really explain that to someone? Well, I obviously couldn't. That's why it's so essential that we listen to this over and over again. A couple of us were talking at the break, and this gentleman just come back. He came back, he'd just been through the seminar, he came back through it again. And he says, it's so much different. And I said, every time you go through it, it's different. I said, that's because you're operating with a higher awareness, and you'll see things you weren't able to see before.
So what I took away from that, one of the main things is that the cybernetic mechanism measures deviation from the set goal, but the goal isn't in the conscious mind, the goal is in the subconscious mind. I remember Bob back in the 90s, he said something really good. He said, everyone's got a goal because everyone has subconscious conditioning which attracts to your results. Your results are an expression of what that goal is in the subconscious mind. So if we use strategy, like Bob was talking about before, strategy versus mindset, if we use strategy, it will take us off course, and then this cybernetic mechanism will bring us back on course. In other words, it will bring back into our life kind of what's already in our subconscious mind. So Bob explains this with three different examples. Now, I've taken just the part where we go off course and split them up into 3 separate videos inside one video, just so we can kind of understand what actually happens in machines and then what happens in human beings as soon as we actually go off course.
And the temperature drops.
All right, we've gone over a couple of things here. The key to this is what we're going over and demonstrating is you. And that you is the key to consciousness. So we have a self-image. In your self-image is a cybernetic mechanism. Now, you've probably been wondering, why do I keep getting the results I'm getting? He's right. Every time I've thought about going beyond, fear, doubt, and worry comes in, and then I stay in my comfort zone. Yes, he's right. Something inside of me immediately begins to tell me it's not possible. Why would I do that? Your conditioning talks to you. The minute it's time for you to go, to stretch, to go beyond what you know how to do, your conditioned mind quickly and automatically begins to talk you out of doing the thing that you want to do. Now, this is also why Bob said that success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. The strategy is what you want. The goal is what you want. That mind that's set in the direction already has a strategy. That's why you have to develop a new vision and a new strategy on purpose. Now, when I say that, your subconscious already has a goal. When you do not put your goal, you already have a strategy inside of you. That strategy is built upon all your beliefs, all your conditioning, everything you already know, and everything you already have. And that's the goal. When we don't set our own goal in life, when we don't set a goal beyond what we know how to do, you already have a strategy. And it's already fulfilled 98% of your reality. Look around. Your reality is built off of that strategy. You see, you can never get outside of yourself, and you can never outperform the self-image because it's already been performing. Look at your results. Look at the car, look at the house, look at the rental house, or look at the rental properties, or look at the business you're trying to do, or look at the business you've built, or look at the business you're in. It was all a strategy. It was all an idea or a goal at one point in time, and at some point in time, you've gotten fairly decent at it, and you've stayed there. And this is completely normal. It's the way we work. We've been studying this a long time on purpose. Everybody gets to the point where they've got to the end of their strategy. They've gotten to the end of their goal. They will get to the end of what they know how to do. And when you get to that point, and if you don't know how the mind works and how to develop the mind, you stay there. I met with people with no education that are stuck. I met people with education that are stuck. I met people that are barely making it that are stuck. I've met with people that you would think they're fairly successful. According to who? The people that are not as successful. Again, mindsets. That's all it is. I've worked with people that are earning millions. I've worked with people that are earning billions of dollars. But everybody gets to a point. I work with people under 6 figures. Everybody gets to a point where they've gone as far as they know what to do. That's where we get to the common denominator of success. You got to be able to go beyond what you know how to do. And the mind's tricky after this point. And it's got a cybernetic mechanism. And the minute you begin to want to veer off that set point, cybernetic mechanism can tell, it can see, it can feel, because it's looking through your eyes. It's listening through your ears. It's watching your expression. It can feel the new vision that you're working towards. And it's activated inside of you. And it says, wait a minute. You're going beyond where we're supposed to go. That's why you don't get what you want. You get what you are. And if you don't change what you are, you don't develop yourself to go beyond. That cybernetic mechanism is designed to control your behavior the minute you begin to veer off where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do in life. We say we have free will, and we do. God gave us the gift of free will. But why is it the moment you truly want to design and create your own life, that free will is stopped on its tracks? You say you have free will. Why aren't you right now living exactly the way you want to live? Why have you not sat down and chosen exactly how you want to live? If you have free will and you could do anything, why have you not sat down with the pen and wrote down exactly how you're going to live, the way you're going to want to live, the amount of money you're going to earn, the things that you're going to do, the things that you will have, and the things that you will experience? Why have you not done that? Because you're going to go back to your self-image and see if it can do it. Then your self-image is going to talk to you. It'll talk to you. Say, we can't do that. You can't have that. We don't know how to do that. Oh, it'll never work. That's self-image. And the minute it's veering off, these sensors are supposed to watch and protect you. And if you're going beyond what you know how to do, and you're going beyond the goal that's fixed in your subconscious mind, that's right. You already have a goal fixed in your subconscious mind at birth. And every time you're wanting to get better results, this sensor picks up the deviation between the fixed goal in your program. That's right. You were programmed. Everybody's talking about brainwashed. You were already fixed. That's why it's hard to go beyond what your family's done. That's why it's hard to double what your family has done. That's why you haven't doubled, tripled, quadrupled, 10 times what your family has done. Who has stopped you from earning 10 times to living 10 times the family lifestyle that you were born into? Who has stopped you if you have free will? You're going to say, well, I don't know. I really hadn't thought about it. Why haven't you thought about it? And some of you may have thought about it, and some of you may have tried, and you didn't win. Why? Because that cybernetic mechanism is supposed to sense a deviation between who you are and where you want to go. And if it's too foreign and it's too far out of what you're supposed to have, it does everything it can to send you right back on plan to what you're supposed to see in life. And some of you may say that's not fair, but that's life. You're not the only one that has this issue. We all do. We all do. The minute we want to go beyond what we know how to do, that cybernetic mechanism is designed to protect you, to keep you safe, to cause you to conform. Now, if you look at the population and you study, I want you to study, research everything I say so that you can see that what I'm saying is accurate. And then you can see, and then you can start questioning yourself. And then you can start questioning and seeing everybody that taught you what they taught you. I want you to look it up so that you get a better understanding of you and what's holding you back. If you want to win, you can't be like them. If you want to go beyond what they've ever done, you cannot be like them anymore. I remember a story, and I was talking about it in Spanish yesterday, of how mindsets keep people stuck. And the mind that's set on a goal can give you freedom. I was talking about a story of a young man. I'm not going to go into all the details, but he was living a life of poverty from day one. It's back many years ago when they used to use mules in the field for agriculture. And he was 5 years old, and his mother said, well, you turned 5 now. It's time for you to wrestle the mules. And for 5 years, this kid has been watching. He's been watching his brothers wrestle the mules. He's been watching his father wrestle the mules. He's been watching his grandfather wrestle the mules. And he heard of his great-grandfather wrestling the mules. And now at 5 years old, it's his turn. Now, we don't live like that right now. Maybe in some places, maybe it's still being this way, depending on where you're at in the world. But the truth is, for 5 years, he's turned 5. And the mother tells him, it's your turn. And he says, I don't want to do that. Why do I have to do that? I don't want to do that. And he's looking around at the scene, he's looking at other people, and he sees that other people are not living that lifestyle, they're living in that way. Then he starts to question everything that he's being taught, and he's been taught about God and religion. And he turns around and says, why did God make us poor? Why did God make us this way? And the mother got upset and she slapped him and she said, never blame God for what your father has done. Never blame God for what your father has done. Never blame God for what your father has done. So here this child for 5 years of age has been watching this whole world and experiencing his world, not someone else's. He's experiencing his world as he thinks. But the truth of the matter is, he has been experiencing the lineage of his family's world. He's been experiencing the mindset of his family's lineage. That family's his story. How far does his story go? How much of somebody else's history are you still living today? This young man is 5 years old, and he has realized that God did not do this to him. He is realizing that it is a family's mindset. And everybody's just locked in. To what? Beliefs. Your brothers are doing it. Your father done it. His father's done it. His father's done it. We've got generational programming. And he says, God did this to us. He says, no, he did not. But nobody wakes up. She slaps and said, don't blame God for what your father's done. He's living their mindset. And he has to now, because he's born in this family, he has to travel through time. He's got to travel through their experiences, through the way they think, and now he will be forced to experience their memories, the way they think and earn money. So now he's got to go wrestle the mules, and he goes and does it. He goes and lives as they do. And for 5 years, this young man has been watching his brothers. I'm tired. My hands are peeling. My hands are tearing. My back aches. My feet hurt. He's watching his father now that is developed 20 more years than them, 30 more years than them, and he's watching him and his rough hands, where they've already gotten to the point to where they're scaled, they're rough, they're tore. His body's wearing out. His feet are wearing out. He's tired at the end of the day. And then he's watching the grandfather that's another 20, 30 years older, and how beat up he is. And he's thinking, my God, what are these people doing? And then he's watching his brothers go into the same algorithm. Here comes the brothers, here's the father, years older, here's the grandfather, years older. And he's watching the whole thing as a play. He's aware. And when he understood that God did not choose that, they did. My God, we got a choice. We have free will, but free will is your ability to select the images that you're going to create. All these people have failed to dream. All these people have failed to imagine. And they just got locked in. You don't think that each and every one of them didn't want more? Of course they did. What stopped them on their track from living the life they truly desire? The goal that was fixed in their subconscious mind. That's the truth. The goals that are fixed in your subconscious mind is what you live and what you experience. Now I want you to ask yourself, what is your story? And is history repeating itself in your life as well? This thing is unseen and you don't even know it's working through you. But the chances are you're living his story. His and her beliefs. And this goes right along. Right along through you, right along through birth, right along through elementary, high school, college. It just goes right along. And you're not even aware. Take a look at what we're doing. We're in the life-changing business. And we can help you change yours. We can help you change yours. Success. 95% mindset. What is your mindset set at? Have a wonderful day.